Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So good to see you and have you here. Great to see you, Michelle. Good morning, Velma. I see you, the ladies here watching me. Again, so good to have you. Let me just grab a sip of my tea. All right, good morning. Let's see who else. Good morning to Mel and Nichelle. Great to have you ladies this morning. Good morning, Mark. Right, wonderful, everyone. As always, let me know what you're drinking, your tea, coffee, your water, whatever your beverage of choice is. Great to see everyone here. Good morning, Mom. I love that my mom always joins it every Tuesday. She's wonderful. All right, take a little sip. Just as all of our wonderful legacy builders come on in, I also want to welcome our guests throughout social media. If you are watching me from LinkedIn or YouTube or any other streaming platform, we are so happy to have you. And I also want to say hello and acknowledge our replay watchers. If you are watching the replay, go ahead and type hashtag replay so I can acknowledge you in the comments. Thank you for those who can't join live, but are always there to catch the replay. I truly appreciate each of you. And as I look on, okay, Mark's got his chocolate oat milk. I love it. It's hot chocolate. Oh, I see some pomegranate. Oh, pomegranate green tea. That sounds yummy. I love that. And mushroom coffee. That is great. Good morning, Shirley. Great to see you. Ah, wonderful. Great to have everyone here. Good morning, Dr. Roxanne and Gabrielle. Great to have you. All right, so let's get started. As I acknowledge everyone who's coming in with your milk tea and protein shakes, I see that Ron has there. We are, for those, since we have some guests and we're streaming in various areas outside of the group for this month, since it is a special kind of treat that we're doing this month. Just to let you all know that we get together every Tuesday at 9 a.m. right here in our Facebook community, the Legacy Builder Group for First Generation Millionaires. And we get together to elevate our money behavior in order to establish a strong foundation to build multi-generational wealth. So we are working on establishing a foundation to build wealth and sustain it. And I think if we all aware of any lottery winners or people who suddenly get into money and losing it, we understand the importance of actually building a strong foundation to build multi-generational wealth. So that's what we are here to do. Good morning, Markel and Francesca. Great to have you. For us here, we understand it takes more than just money to leave an inheritance for our children's children. It takes a legacy builder mindset. That's what we do here as legacy builders. And week by week, this incredible community provides me with the pleasure of coaching them through some deep and vulnerable money conversations in order to elevate all of us, in order to elevate our positions as legacy builders. So today, and each Tea Time Tuesday in this month of December, we will be dedicating it to coaching you using the 4R model. And this is to help you prepare for your next level of financial growth, financial freedom, and overall wellness in 2024. We are just a few weeks away. So there's work to be done to be ready. And here's the thing, you all have been doing, especially those in this community, have been doing the work. And you guys come regularly, week by week. So this is just to continue the process. So you'll be ready. So let me know, type in the comments, I'm elevating in 2024. I want you to let me know that you are with me and we are elevating in 2024. Elevation, next level. That's what we're all about. Oh, yeah, let's go. I love them. Thank you, Markel. Love it there. Hello, Calandra. So glad you can join us. So, last week, well, actually, let me, always have to remember that not everyone knows me since I'm streaming everywhere. So let me just do a quick intro of who I am. My name is Marcella Mullen Williams. I am a behavioral financial advisor. And what that is it involves a combination of traditional finance, neuroscience, and psychology. And these areas equip me with the tools to help you gain more understanding and control of your relationship with money. That's a part of what I do. And you'll get to see that demonstrate as long as you stay with us here every week. That's what we're doing. Elevating. I'm here to help you understand and to help you get in more control of your relationship with money and your financial behavior. That's what it's all about. So, last week, I explained why this 4R process is important. And if you were with me live or caught the replay, let me know in the comments again. And I love it. I'm elevating in 2024. I love all the affirmations. Put it in there. And now I want you to just to let me know who was with me last week or who caught the replay and was able to kind of review your questions, review the prompts that I provided from last week for the first week. Yes, wonderful. So I encourage you to go back. If you have not, I encourage you to go back and watch it. Watch the replay. It's so important that you understand why we are doing what we're doing. And then you can continue the process with us. I want you to start at the beginning. And remember, when we talked about the 4 R's, if you caught it, if you were with me, the 4R method prevents, who remembers, the amygdala hijacking. And I had y'all type, remember, no more hijacking. We are no longer going to allow our emotional center of our brain, the amygdala, to control our response to financial situations. And that's what happens. The amygdala hijacks the prefrontal cortex and prevents us from making rational decisions unless we take the steps to recognize that's what's happening and move forward from there. So, yes, no more hijacking. And you will, okay, wonderful, Shirley. Definitely catch the replay later. Thank you, all you wonderful people. I just love this community. So, let me make sure I'm catching all the tech. Yes, no more hijacking. I love it. Y'all better say that. Okay, so let's continue. And I want to make sure we get going here for the sake of time because I want to make sure we cover everything that you have here. So you should have your journal in front of you. You have it printed out like me, or maybe have it on the screen. If you haven't downloaded it yet, please make sure you do so. The link is located anywhere you saw the post about this event. So just be sure to make sure you have your journal in front of you. If you don't have it in front of you right now, no worries. You can still hang on here with us and you can just go back and still follow through with the prompts that I provide. But make sure you take notes, okay? So I want everyone to remember who was with me last week. Like I said, we covered the first R. So I want you to type in the comments the first R that we covered. And what is it? I'm going to let you type it in. And then I know I'll see it. The first R was recognized. That's right. It's on the worksheet, of course. If you remember, even better. We took time to recognize important aspects of our money behavior. So, yes, yes, yes. We are definitely making sure that we are recognizing. Yes, okay. I'm seeing all the comments coming in. Wonderful. So again, for the sake of time, I want you to catch the replay, go back and watch the recognize portion and just go in deep. Today, week two, we are continuing with reflect. Yes. Reflect is today's subject, the second R of the four R's. And we are going to start with reflect. So I want you to think about this like a sports team, right? A sports team at the end of the season, at the end of the game. But in our case, it's the end of the season, right? And no matter what the performance was like, watching film, the team comes together or individuals, they watch the film of the game and they analyze the various aspects of their performance. And this is such an important step in order for both the individual, the athlete, to grow and also for the team to grow to the next level. And that is exactly what we are doing here. We are kind of reflecting on our own film of the year and in our past and seeing what we can learn from it, what comes out of all of this. This is our time to reflect, and it is so, so important to reflect before we go into a new year, a new opportunity to scale and grow. So, yes, number two is reflect. I love it. Y'all are typing it in the comments. That's right. We're going to reflect. So, let's look at our sheet here. And there is a typo here. I'll let you know when we get to it, but let's just keep going. Let's start from where we are. Let's look at the first prompt and work through this together. So, the first thing we want to do is evaluate past financial experiences. And how we're going to do that is to reflect on any past financial successes or challenges and the lessons learned from them. Lessons learned from each of them. So here's how I want you to look at this. Let's take a moment and look at what lessons learned through, and ask yourself, through my financial successes will help me in the next phase of my life and career. So look back at this year in the past and look at what you've come through with, financial successes, the things that you're like, okay, I was able to achieve financially, I was able to do, I was able to change about myself, and say, how can it help me in the next phase of my life? How can it help me in my business? How can it help me in my career? What can I learn from my successes? Okay, so you can make a note of that. The next question to ask yourself is, what are the lessons learned through my financial challenges that will help me grow? This is often hard to face. We get so used to looking at our financial challenges or failures as a bad thing. And I think the worst thing that could come out of a financial challenge is no lesson learned. The failure comes when we fail to reflect on what we could pull from it. There is absolutely always something to learn from every financial challenge. Mark my word, always something to learn. And if you're not able to learn anything, you're not digging in deep enough. So I am challenging you to look deep, just face on any past financial challenges that you experienced this year. What can you learn from it to help you grow? It could be as simple as, I'm not doing that again, and making a note to not repeat the mistake. Okay, so and we'll touch on that again as we continue here in a different aspect of that. All right, so really take a look at that. Francesca, thank you. You said failures come from the failure to reflect. Absolutely. Yes, I love it. That is what I'm saying. That's one of the most important things there. All right, so let's move on to the next one, the next prompt. Clarify your financial objectives for 2024. What do you want to achieve financially and why? So, this is about assessing your financial goals. Assessing your financial goals. And last week, I ask you to recognize, your short and your long-term goals. And in this stage, you're reflecting on them. Do not narrow your goals to merely numbers, okay? Not just numbers. We have to go deeper. We don't want to simply say, I want to make more money. That's not a motivation. I'm telling you, you might think making more money will motivate you. We've all seen situations, seen people, whether it's in movie or in real life, where people make more and they're still not satisfied. So you have to go deeper. Here's something I always share, and I want you to continue to remember this. Your mind needs to attach value to every and any goal in order to make it worthy of pursuing. You have to attach a value to this goal. So, whatever financial goal you have, the question is why? You need to understand that your why, the value is in the why. The true value of the goal that you want is the why you want it. And that's how you truly assess and reflect on your financial goals. Money is a powerful tool. It is an excellent servant and a terrible master. So, how do you want money to serve you? And explain that in that financial goal. All right. Why do you want money to serve you? Why do you want to make more money? What is the why behind every financial objective? How does it reflect on your values and your purpose for money itself? If you've been in this, like I said, in this community, or you're a client, or you've worked with me in any aspect, you know what I'm talking about. We talk about our core values, break those 5 core values down, and how they reflect on our money making decisions, and also our purpose for money. What is that? How do we find fulfillment with that? So these are all the ways that you can really reflect and evaluate your financial goals. You really assess them and go a little deeper with that. Okay. So let's make sure I'm hoping you're doing that. And I'm seeing some comments on the attached value to every goal and why. Yes, you look, y'all are getting it as always. I love it. And I have, okay, Dr. Roxanne, you said I have them written down on my vision board. Yes, your core values, you have them on the vision board. I know those who are in the family legacy experience cohort, y'all already know it's powerful work being done there. And each of you are placing it just where it needs to be. And you understand what I'm talking about here. So let's look at the next prompt on this list. We want to evaluate your financial skills. So in order to do that, we want to identify areas where you may need to enhance your knowledge or develop new skills to support your financial goals. That's right. So you need to identify those areas you may need to just really enhance your knowledge. So enhancing your knowledge and developing new skills to support that financial goal, which is supporting the why. So remember last week, for those who were on with me, I talked about how do you eat an elephant, right? We talked about the long-term and the short-term goals. And while short-term goals can be broken up a different way, I challenge you all to look at your short-term goal in association with your long-term goals. So your long-term goals was the elephant. That's the elephant. And there's a series of short-term goals that are needed to reach that long-term goal. And those are the bites. How do you eat an elephant? Y'all know, put it in the chat. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So in this, this question I'm asking you as we evaluate our financial skills, you are evaluating your bites. You're evaluating the bite. And that's what we're talking about here. I want you to think about what and who can help you reach your financial goals. And all that's involved in the goal and the why behind the goal. So now you're seeing the layers. So you see how I keep talking about going deep. And I like to say we're growing deep because that's what it is. The more layers you're able to pull back, the deeper you get, the more you grow. So your roots are getting really strong because if you think of a tree and how the roots grow, they're digging through the layers of the earth to grow stronger. And that's what's happening with our minds, with our abilities. We are being stronger. So think about the financial skills that you need to develop, what you learn, where you may have fallen short. Remember those challenges we talked about? Maybe you lacked in certain areas. And again, we'll touch on this. We'll go a little deeper on this. Like I said, we're always going to go deeper. All right, let's look at the next prompt. All right, we are going to let me make sure I'm on the right page here. Checking your comments. Yes, I see the elephant. You guys remember? You all remember. All right. We're going to reflect on past mistakes and achievements to learn from them and improve decision making skills. So, we're going to analyze our past financial choices. This is a little different than what we talked about earlier. When we talk about analyzing our financial successes and challenges, now I want you to look at it from the lens of a decision-making skills, right? Here we are focusing on past mistakes and achievements that occurred as a result of your financial choices and decisions. Now, let me pause for a moment and explain for those who may not know, there is a difference between a choice and a decision. Very important note. And I got this from Myron Golden. And he's really taught that the difference between a choice and a decision is this: a choice is an option, and a decision is a commitment. So your decision is the commitment that you make after you select your choice. And I'm pulling this out because it's really I really want you to take this into 2024 because so many of us stop short. We make a choice, we think that's a decision. Okay, I am I'm making a decision to contribute towards my, let's say, IRA or Roth every month in 2024. You have a certain amount, I'm making that decision. Well, unless you are conscious of making a commitment, you merely made a choice. And when you just make a choice, you can easily just fall back from that. See, that's the thing that we don't realize. In 2024, I want you to get used to making decisions, being very conscious of making the choice and the commitment to the decision. All right. So let's say in 2024, I want you to put in the comments, I'm making decisions. I'm making committed decisions. You tell me, but I want you to express that you understand that you are making decisions in 2024, not just choices. Those are commitments. So I am making decisions. So in this, I want you to evaluate, maybe because you didn't actually look at it in this way, you didn't make committed decisions. So perhaps maybe in some areas could have fallen short. That's all right, because guess what? We're going to learn from it. With that said, we're going to reflect on mistakes made as a result of maybe an emotional response. Did you recognize it? Did you recognize that, oh, I made an emotional decision or I made an emotional choice? And now I can see that and learn that lesson. How can you take that experience and make it work for you in 2023, 2024? Like I am not repeating that mistake. It's a wonderful thing when you can recognize it and reflect on it. That's what we're here to do. So you don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as a wonderful thing, a tuition. It is your education here. Perhaps you made a financial decision that left you feeling confident and less adverse to risk. Maybe you've always been a little afraid or uncomfortable not so confident when you're making financial decisions, but you made some decisions this year and you felt great about it. Well, reflect on that. How do you repeat that? What was going on in your mind? What were the conditions around you that allowed you to make a decision that was effective for you financially? Learn from those. It's so important. Yes, we are reflecting here. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm making committed decisions in 2024. I'm loving like y'all are putting it in there. Wonderful. And I also want you to reflect on any aspect of the decision that was made. So think now of a financial decision that you made that you were happy about, or maybe not so happy about. How did it reflect your values? How did it not reflect your core values? Did you make a decision that was in alignment with your core values? Again, if you have not done any work to identify your core value as it relates to money, reach out to me. Put in the comments, I need my core values. I think many of you, again, in our community, done the work and you know what I'm talking about and how to align your financial decisions with your core value. It shows up in your decisions. And we want to make sure that you reflect on how you were able to do that this year and you make more and more conscious decisions in 2024 that will consistently have you feeling just so empowered, so amazing, so much more confident and fulfilled. All right. It's a beautiful thing. This last month, between the end of November and December, I've had to make so many financial decisions in preparing for 2024. I've said no to some great opportunities and I've said yes to others, in which each step of the way required some reflection before I made the decision. And I want you to be able to feel, and I felt confident with each no and each yes. I didn't always get it right. Sometimes it was felt questionable. It's not an exact science, but it is a powerful way of living consistently. It does show up and for you to feel more fulfilled. But what I want is for you to get first in the practice of reflecting in the past, because this is not a habit yet. So you're going to reflect for 2023, and then you're going to learn in 2024 how to reflect before you make the decision. So right now we're reflecting on decisions that have already been made. And in 2024, you're going to learn how to reflect before you make the decision. All right, so let's keep that going. The next is a typo. It says, what are your short-term and long-term financial goals? We're going to skip that because that was from the recognize section. It just found its way back here and reflect. But since it is here, I want you to continue to reflect on the short-term and long-term goals that we discussed last week. Make sure that they are still a part of your desired actions, what you want for 2024, the why. And we talked about that why. So let's look at why they're your short-term and long-term goals. Continue to reflect on those. All right. And then we're going to look at the last prompt. And are you guys hanging with me? Let me pause before we get to the last one and see where you all are. Like Logan's gifts for our kids. Okay, I see. I need my core. Okay, great. All right, I see y'all. I see you all. Wonderful. Shirley, all right, I'm gonna come back to your question. No, that's Nancy. There you go. What about making loans gift to our kids? Tell me more about that question. You said, what about making loans gifts to our kids, Nancy? Let me know more about that. What your question is behind that, please. All right. And as you elaborate on that question, Nancy, we're going to continue to the last prompt, which is really to assess your understanding of financial concepts and areas where you might need further education and guidance. So, this is about just looking at where you are right now. Maybe in the area of increasing your financial literacy. Do not maybe you need to be just find more clarity around how you learn and grow within your knowledge in finance. So you can ask yourself, do I need to increase my financial literacy? It's a great question to ask yourself. Do I need more clarity about financial tools and strategies that will help grow my wealth? It's that an area that you need help in. Like the strategy, like maybe you hear things, you're on social media, this person's talking about that tool or that strategy, and maybe you need to know what works for me, what doesn't work for me. These are all things to reflect on. Where are you currently? And again, if you've been in this group, in this community, we're constantly learning and stretching and growing. So I want you to reflect on where you were and where you are now. What have you learned about yourself? And this is not just about, like I said, the necessary tools or strategy. Also, add to your money mindset. Where are you as far as maybe your financial intelligence, how you're able to relegate your emotions? How are you able to do so now compared to earlier this year? Like, do you feel more in control of your financial decision making? Do you need to work on those skills? To ask yourself, do I think I know more than I do? Oh yeah, these are this will get you sometimes. Do I think I know more than I do? Times are changing rapidly. The last thing you want to do is rely on outdated information, outdated data, thinking that, oh, I don't need anybody to teach me anything. So and so, I grew up with this type of information. My dad was a financial advisor, so I knew everything. He taught me everything I needed to know. Well, it depends on that time frame between when you grew up and now. A lot changes. So you need to make sure that you're not stuck in a place where you think you know it all or you know more than you need to know, because we always have something more to learn, including myself. This is why I stay in continuing education classes. This is why I continue to educate myself in the area of finance and behavioral finance, because there's always something I don't know. And then ask yourself, do I know more than I think I know? Give yourself some grace, give yourself some credit for what you've learned and how far you've come. I want you to really assess, like I said before, what you've learned, what you've taken the time and the commitment to pour into yourself when it comes to money. The classes that you've been sitting in, your commitment to this community every Tuesday. All of those are reasons to really be able to commend yourself and give yourself an applaud. So I'm going to give you a moment to just, pat yourself on the back. If you are committed and you stay plugged in, pat yourself on the back. I can't see you, so you just got to let me know that you're patting yourself on the back and I'll believe you. But I want really to give yourself some credit for that, because we can be so hard on ourselves. And I see you all working. I see you all, diligently showing up to shift your money behavior, to shift your mindset, and and you shift your habits and your saving and your spending habits and your investment habits. So acknowledge every new financial concept that you learn and that you apply. Acknowledge all of it, because by remaining plugged in to this group, you'll have more to acknowledge than you realize, and you'll have more to grow on and prepare you for 2024. So, taking all these steps right here in the journal, if take your time within the next week between today and next Tuesday before we move on to the next phase, the next stage. I want you to make sure that you follow these prompts, come back to the replay for the added questions that I mentioned. I gave you some additional prompts that are not written down here, but you can always catch the replay, pause, write it down. That's why we leave the replay here in this group. And do this exercise. I'm telling you, it's going to make such a difference, and not only how you enter 2024, but how you dominate 2024. So let's make sure that we stay the course. Again, review, watch the replay. Let me know that you're catching the replay by placing a hashtag replay so I can acknowledge you. Go back, catch, recognize. And now we just reflected on all these various aspects of your financial performance, your financial behavior, and your money mindset. Acknowledge all the work that you've been doing, learn from the financial mistakes, challenges, elevate yourself through each of those and through the successes. And let's continue to learn and grow together. And I'm looking forward to going through this process with each of you. And as I close off, let me just make sure that I see everyone here. Any other questions? Nancy, let me see. Did you come back? All right. So, Markel, I actually just patted myself on the back and it felt so good. Look, I love that. Y'all, people think I'm joking when I say pat yourself on the back. I am serious because it's something that we need, and it does actually releases a chemical response that motivates us and inspires us to continue. So when people say, like, literally pat yourself on the back, that's what we're talking about. Like, actually do it. Okay, when they buy. All right. And let me see, Calandra. Yes, I need to learn more and to use what I do know consistently so it becomes a habit. Yes, the habits. I also need financial coaching and accountability for my strategies and plans. Absolutely. That's right. Um, Let me see when you buy when they buy a house. Okay, Nancy said when they buy a house. All right, I'm going to come back to you offline after the chat just to make sure I'm clear on your question there because I definitely want to make sure I can address those. Um, okay, there we go. Do you have any example of a choice was a decision? So, all right. So, what I said, I'll just touch on that briefly when I talk about choices and a decision. So just like I said, think of it as when you have to make a choice. And I brought up the example of making a, trying to decide, you're going to make a decision to do more, do something financially, set a financial goal. All right. So it starts with the choice is I'm going to do it or I'm not. That yes or no, you have that choice. I'm either going to do it or I am not. So if you have to make this choice and you're choosing to contribute to an investment account, investment plan, your 401k, whatever that may be for you, you're putting out a dollar amount because there's a choice. You can choose various dollar amounts. All right, I'm choosing to contribute so much money into my investment account. At that point, when you make the choice to do that, there's an added step that we often miss, and that is the commitment, the decision. You have to make a definitive decision that is conscious in your head. We go about subconsciously making choices. I always the average human makes 35,000 choices per day. They say decisions, I say choices. The studies say that. A lot of them are autopilot, but we want to make conscious decisions. So everything you do that is important, that is leading towards your goal, must be a conscious decision that you are aware of. Maybe you're writing it somewhere. Maybe you're telling it to someone so you can have an accountability partner and they're like, oh, okay, you made this commitment. But your commitment must show up in that decision in some way. And when you do that, you are far more likely to achieve that financial goal than when you just make a subconscious choice. All right. So that's what, that's hopefully that helps in breaking down the choice versus commitment. All right. So we are at the end of it. I don't want to hold you up any longer. So thank you again for joining me for another Tea Time Tuesday. And as we continue the series in December, oh yeah, we're going to keep going through the 4 R's approach to making more powerful money decisions and elevating our money mindset for 2024. Go ahead and work on your journals, and I will see you all next Tuesday. So excited about it. See you next time. Have an amazing week. Take care.